Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how I just went to 6 countries for a round trip airfare of $300. So I want to first talk to you about the airfares that I got. So sometimes airlines mistakenly price their tickets and they go for much lower than what they are supposed to be. So that is what happened with my initial round trip to the Philippines. I got a round trip flight to Cebu and back for $180. So I did not end up using the second leg, the return fare. I got another glitch fare or an airfare from the Maldives, layover in Dubai, coming back to San Francisco for $112. So together I spent under $300 for my round trip flight. So that is the first way I was able to do this entire trip for under $2,000. The second is I went to a very affordable area. So Southeast Asia is known for being very cheap and very affordable. Sometimes my accommodations were only $30 a night. I stayed in hostels. Sometimes those were only $12 to $15 a night. I stayed in a really high-end Airbnb, and that was only around $75 a night. It was beautiful. It had an infinity pool looking over the city view, and it was still way cheaper than anything that you would find out here. So accommodations were super affordable. The tours and having drivers were also very affordable. So I chose an affordable area so things would not get too expensive in that. Also, I was very flexible with my dates. So for example, the day I flew out from Singapore to the Maldives, the day before and the day after both had flights that were way more expensive than what I paid. So what determined how many days I had in each place was which day had the cheaper flights. So I chose the day in the middle to fly out from Singapore to the Maldives, and I saved about $60 to $70 right there. So glitch fares, having an affordable area that you're choosing, and being flexible with your dates is what helped me stay under $2,000. So breaking down all of that, I have my round trip airfare for $300. The in-country flights, so flying from the Philippines to Malaysia, Malaysia to Indonesia, Indonesia to Singapore, Singapore to the Maldives, all came out to $320, which is more than my round trip flight. But that's still really affordable. I flew all budget airlines, so you do have to be ready and prepared for that. They make you do a lot of things like pay for your drinks on the flights. They make you pay for extra baggage and stuff. So just be careful and be mindful about flying the budget airlines. Another thing that was very affordable, like I mentioned earlier, the accommodation. I spent about $450 on that. So like I mentioned, I stayed in hostels, I stayed in really high-end Airbnbs, I stayed at hotels, I stayed pretty much everywhere. And so I mixed it up, and I was able to, splurge in some places because I saved in other places. So you definitely have to look and see what makes more sense. Like, it made more sense to stay in a hostel in Singapore than it did in Kuala Lumpur or Bali, because you could very easily afford a hotel because it was so inexpensive. The next big expense were the tours, and sometimes I hired drivers to take me out during the day to sightsee and stuff. That was $450. So keep in mind, if you are doing this by yourself or with a partner, you'll be able to share this expense in some places because there's some things that go per person, but there are some tours that are just for the entire car. Like my driver in Bali, it was about $60 for the day. And lastly was food and drink. This is a total estimation because I did not have the time to go back and look at every single thing that I spent in all 3 different accounts that I had out there. But I estimate that I spent about $500 on food and drinks throughout the entire time. So altogether, I kept my trip under $2,000 for 6 countries and 3 weeks. You can definitely do, at least minus the flight, you can definitely do some of the other things a lot cheaper. But I chose to actually spend money and make myself feel like I was on an actual vacation some of the days, not every day. So I did take the time to plan some things that were very special and memorable, and so I did have to spend a little bit more money for things like that. For example, the desert safari in Dubai was one of the more expensive. It was a half-day tour too, and it was one of the more expensive things that I picked, but the pictures and the experience that I had out there will be definitely memorable for a long time. And also I had limited time out there, so I wanted to do something really cool that I could come back with and share with everybody. I just wanted to make this video because I wanted to make sure everyone knew how I did this and how attainable it actually is to do a trip like this, and you know, just share how much fun I had and how great of experience it was. So just to recap, I went to 6 countries. Round trip fare was under $300. I did it by glitch fare. I had an affordable area that I went to, and I was very flexible with my dates and time. So yeah, it was under $2,000. I had a great time, and I can't wait to do something else very similar. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Whatever. Stop the video.
Okay.